Crystal, good evening, Crystal. We got OG Cutes in the house. Cutes gonna start off with a story. I have no idea what the story is about, but go ahead, Cutes.
All right, I got rolled up from Tracy in 1980 for messing up, being a program failure at Tracy. If you're a program failure at Tracy, then you messing up pretty big time. So they sent me. They call it the pit. They said, "Cute, you going to the pit?" And I said, "Oh yeah, what is the pit?" And the dude said, "Oh, you going to Dracula's castle?" And I said, "Okay, man, you trying to scare me? Well, what is Dracula's castle?" One dude said, I asked two guys, one guy called it the pit, referring to old folks. Another guy referred, to it as Dracula's castle. And then another dude said, "No, this youngster's going to his last stop." And I said, "What do you mean by that? These dudes are older than me. They've been locked up way longer than me. They all got like 10 years in. They probably start going to jail in the 1950s for all I know." But anyway, they trying to make me afraid because I done messed up and now I got level 4 points. I didn't busted my point system all the way up. There was this lady named Ruth Russian. Her daughter was Patrice Russian, the singer. Anyway, her mother was over the prison system, and she created the point system. So when I got to prison, I had level 3 points. And they classify your points on that you get write-ups in the LA County Jail. What's your grade point average? It's a lot of variables. So when I hit the joint, I had 40 something points. You only need 51 points to be level 4. But I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the points. I don't understand what they talking about when they talking about levels. All I know is that I'm in Tracy. So I'm getting these 115s back to back. And each one comes with points. Each one comes with a hearing. So the dude said, "Hey, man, this dude got 80 some points. What is he still doing here?" And he's still getting in trouble. So they put me on a van, sent me to Dracula's castle and the pit. And everything they said was true. As soon as I pulled up, it looked like Dracula's castle. So I'm sitting saying, "Damn, it does look like Dracula's castle." Then when the metal gates open up, we drive deep down into the ground. And I said, "Wow, I'm going into the pit," like that. And then when I get down to the bottom of the pit, I see one building, I see 4A. I look over here, I see 5 building, which was death row. And I'm like, "Oh man, this is the last stop." Everything that those dudes said resonated right away, everything. And so I was like, "Damn, here I am in the goddamn pit." And so they took me to R&R, and I waited there because we got there in the evening. So it's real late at night, and they take me up to the 5th tier. I ain't there. Tracy only goes to 3 tiers, and Tracy got like, I guess, what is it, like doors. You ever seen one of them old James Cagney prison movies?
Mhm.
Well, it's exactly like it's a penitentiary. So I'm like, "Oh shit, there's the catwalk. I'm in real prison now. I am in the pit." So they said, "Grab your bedroll. Everybody going up to the 5th tier, which is Fish Row and 3 building." So we walked past the chow hall. It looked just like Disneyland. Although I thought that some people who did masonry, I thought they, made the walls look the way they did out of fancy, masonry. But no, it was actually carved out of real stone. So what I'm looking at is 100% granite, and it's real. So before I got to the pen, man, the building didn't have no lights. The building didn't have no running plumbing. Dudes would get a bucket, and they would use the bathroom in a bucket. Dudes would get a block of ice. That would keep them cool through the night. They didn't have no running water. They would use the bathroom in the bucket, they would use the ice to drink water. They didn't have no light, so dudes would get a candle. So I'm like, wow, man, at least it's a little better than that, than the way it was, in more primitive times. But as I got up to the fifth tier, I get up and it seems so high. And then the catwalk, that's where the gunner, he's pacing back and forward with his Mini 14. And he's looking mean. He's looking like one of them cowboys out of the Clint Eastwood movie. Like he want to just, dome one of us. And we youngsters, so it's always the youngsters that mess up a good pen. It's the youngsters that come in with all of their bull. They don't know how to do time, and they just waiting to get in some shit. And that's true. As I became an older dude, I realized that the youngsters are always the ones that set shit off. But anyway, that's another story. So here I am. I go into this little bitty cell. It's like what, 8 by 10, maybe smaller. And it's like my shoulders are rubbing the wall and the bunk bed's right here. You can barely do a push-up in there. And then you can reach up if you're on the top bunk and you can touch the ceiling. It's like being in a sardine can. So I finally came off Fish Row. And I go down to the yard, which isn't a big yard at all. It's so small. I was like, okay, where's the yard? I'm thinking they just letting us out to this little area, and then something's gonna open up and it's gonna be an expansion and it's gonna be a big, beautiful yard like Tracy. But no, the dude said, hey bro, this is the yard. I said, well, where's the iron pile? He said, oh, it's smaller than the yard. I said, okay, where is it? He says, come on, follow me. We go to the back of one building, adjacent to one building right in the corner, there's a turnstile, like one of those old turnstiles in one of those Charlie Chaplin movies. So you got to go through this turnstile made out of metal. And then when you're going through the turnstile, now you're trapped on the iron pile. And the iron pile is granite, and the wall is like 30-something feet in the air, and it was carved out of granite. And then the gun tower, it sits away from the yard, and beneath that is the American River. And that's where that is. So this is just sitting. So down there, so I'm a Pruno drinker. I can't wait to, get some Pruno. I can't wait to learn how to cook the Pruno the right way. I tried to learn in the county jail, but it wasn't really all that. And there dudes could really, burn. So I'm drinking Pruno. I'm having fun. It's all fun and games. The time ain't really hit me yet. My life sentence. I'm still young. I'm full of, I got all this, vitality. Man, I'm just happy, man. I don't know, man. Maybe it was a false sense of gaiety, but everybody's laughing my age, and everybody's having fun because the time ain't hit us yet, and ain't no real hard conflicts hit us yet. But so I told my buddy, I said, hey man, this dude asked me to be a celly. And my buddy said, oh yeah. And I said, yeah, man, he seemed pretty cool. He just came up to me and he said, hey bro, you want to be my celly? And I said, I don't care, because they had me they put me in one building on like the 4th tier, and I didn't like it. And then he said, and I talked to you guys about the incident when the ABs had flanked me, thought I was Hugo Pennell and shit. This is a few weeks after that shit. So I tell the dude, yeah, man, I'll be a celly, man. Cool. He seemed like a cool brother, So all my homeboys, they said, Cutes, because I'm rounding Crips up. I'm making a Crip card. That's how I roll. So all the youngsters is like following my lead from the county jail, So they say, this other brother named L.A., he had been there like 5 years. He was a Crip too. Bruno had been there like 2 years, bitter dog. So I showed him the dude that I'm gonna celly up with, and they say, Cutes, you can't celly up with him. And I said, how come? They said, because that's Larno Greenwood. I said, okay. He told me his name. Ooh, I don't got no problem with that. And so I'm going to leave it right there, all right? I'm going to leave the story right there. So you guys look up who Larno Greenwood was, and remember, I was an alcoholic. All right, and look up his story.
Man,
And I was about,
you're gonna
and I
leave
was
him
about,
with a cold cliffhanger, man.
yeah, and I was about to go in the cell with him until the homie stopped me.
He must have been a alcoholic serial killer, man.
What a wicked place to be, man. What a wicked place to be.
Yeah. Spear roast slasher.
There you go, baby boy. you took the spoil out the Springer, dog.
Hey, I mentioned, he's ready to cut your throat off.
Yeah, he would have had action too, because I used to really get high in the cell. I wouldn't so much get high out on the yard. I would cut on my realistic 8-track, and I would just start turning those tumblers up in the cell. And, you know, hey, these are the homies I want to thank. I want to thank Mumpy, and I want to thank LA. Who else do I want to thank? Oh, and I want to thank Big Bill, who had the LA car. That's how hard my head was. That's what it took for me not to go in the cell.
So
Yep.
look, so when you found out who he was, did you approach him and say anything to him?
He was so nice, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So he said, hey man, I already paid the cartons and everything, and the move is already going down, man. I already paid. This is what he's telling me. He's trying to lock me in. So I don't want to have to shake the old man. So I'm like, check it out, bro. I'll reimburse you. You know, you were out of what, a carton? I got a carton of Camels. When you get a package back in from home, you always tell your sister, your old lady, or whoever sends you a package to put a few, cartons in there of Campbell, Lee Mac, because that's what you do your business with, Plus they sell them in the canteen too. So I always had a lot. And when we would have baseball games against Joe Morgan, against Kilroy and all of them, we gamble. So it wasn't against the law for blacks to gamble with with the brothers in the paper. We are. It's all about business. So there was always Camels in there. So I gave Mr. Greenwood, a carton, and he said, man, I'm really disappointed. And I said, it's all right. It's all right, Greenwood. He said, Q, tell me something. I said, what, man? He said, you don't want to be my friend? I said, hey, man, you cool, man. We got kind of like an age difference here, man. I'm only 22, 23, man. How old are you? You like 50, 40? To me, that looked old, maybe 60. And
he was born in 44.
Yeah, so he said, yeah, but I wanted a cool youngster out of LA. This is what he's telling me. He said, I wanted a cool youngster out of LA that all the other youngsters show respect to. He said the last celly I had, I didn't get along good with him. And I said, and then in my mind, myself talk, I said, I imagine not, you fucking serial killer. This is what I'm thinking in my mind, right? And so I tell him, I says, man, you cool, man, but I'm gonna sell you up with one of my homeboys like that. And he and I never spoke again. Damn. I never talked to him no more after that. He would just walk around with this little funny smile on his face, and he would just, go through his time. But he was on the main line, so gotta give him respect for that.
Did he have a history of any abuse on his cellies?
No, everybody when I got there, his cellie had already left. He was in the cell by himself. So I never know that it wasn't, you hear stuff on the yard about people, and I never heard that. I never heard that about him. The governor of Watts, Big Joe Hunter, he told me he was a cool brother. He said, yeah, I bring him sandwiches. He's a good brother, Cute. I said, yeah, he seemed like a cool brother, outside of, the circumstances,
Man,
it seemed pretty cool. But I'm glad I didn't go in there.
man, that sounds like a good scary movie, man.
Yeah. Maybe that would have ended my career. Maybe people would be saying, "Yeah, man, Keats went up there. He like to drink. Yeah, Keats drinks some Mad Dog 2020. He's a drink silver satin with me." Back in the day, that's what the heads did. The youngsters. We go to the liquor store. We get our silver satin. Our Johnny Walker Red, the expensive stuff, and we wrap the bag around it, and we toss it up. Everybody was drinking and taking Stums when I was a kid, and my uncle told me, he said, if you just mess with alcohol and you don't mess with all that other stuff, you won't lose your mind. That's what he used to tell us when we were kids. He said, because you get to mess with all that other stuff, you're gonna lose your mind. And he would point out people who had lost their mind. He was right. You get to messing with all this other shit, you're gonna lose your mind.
Sound like y'all was gonna have a good knife fight up in that cell.
Well, it would be like I had Thug in me, so he would have had to get me like he get his victims. His victims didn't have a chance. He would get them when they was asleep.
Right, that's why he wanted to get you drunk.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to get me drunk. He probably knew that I drink. And I used to drink all the time. Me and Kool-Aid, Wally Gator, we would always be drinking. Half of it. I never seen Mumpy get high or drink. I never seen Mumpy drink. Mumpy used to trip off of me. I would always be in conflict. Mumpy would be like, damn, Coots is always in conflict. Mumpy had an old lady, coming to see him. When a dude has connections to the street with his family and his old lady, he's doing time different than a dude that don't got that.
Right.
He got something to put his mind on, and he got people getting at him with some rational stuff. Whereas if you don't got any of that stuff, you kind of walking around, you're a victim of your own demise through your own thinking and the characters you hanging around.
Right.
So that's how that. But yeah, you go in there with a cool old lady that go to school or got a good job. I mean, you must have had some kind of sense to get her. You come in there and lose all that, then that's a choice. That'll be a choice.
Was Lala from Six Deuce East Coast up there with y'all?
It took him a few years to get there, and he finally made it there. Because you got to realize these guys came from YA. So when did they get there? Like in 83 or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they got there around 83. There was two dudes on the yard my age that had 100 years. One of them's name was Larry Don, and there was one from Harlem named Papa. So they had 100 years. Larry Don passed away, and Papa's still doing time.
All right, somebody had a question for you, man. Ask Cuse, does he remember Big Dexter and Big Rick off the West Side? They used to roll clean LTDs back in the 70s. Rick and Big Phil from Harlem's uncle.
Okay, Big Phil from Harlem. Did they hang with those brothers up there off of Western, and they would always wear those suits, and they would stand outside all the time, and they would be like, they look like businessmen. Would he hang? Because I know all them hustling brothers would be up in there, and I don't know what organization they were in, but it seemed like whatever they were in, it was pretty tight, But those two names, I don't recall. I knew a Dexter, and I believe he was a rebel rouser, and he was in Folsom when I got there. You know, and Rick and Keith Henderson's big brother, he was there when I got there. He had already been there like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there were people in the community that was already there that I knew, you know, or heard of. I met them in there, you know, in person, and I told them I heard of them. I walked up to a guy, hey man, I heard of you, man. You such a, oh yeah, okay, cool, man. I said, I'm glad I'm meeting you today, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Cutes, what type of pets did you have growing up in the 60s?
Yeah, in the 60s.
Yeah.
The first pet I got was a fantail pigeon, a brown one. He was, we called him Cocos. And so we got him at the pet shop. And I always thought he could fly, but he couldn't fly. You know, he would walk around. So I had him. He lived to be like, had him for like 3 years. So I had him. Then I ended up getting a regular dog. You know, a dog that I found walking around, and he wasn't a particular breed, and it didn't matter either because I didn't understand that anyway.
It was a mutt, Cutes.
He was a good dog, man. So I remember his name. His name was Spot. And it was the trip was is that you know how they give you the Dick and Jane reading books when you're a little kid, and so that's the name of the dog in there was Spot. So that was his name. So that's what we called him. Then around 1968. Let's see, took in him and got a pit bull, and but it was we call him Stanley then. So it was a striped Brendo. Then I ended up getting one next. So Stanley got his, then I got mine. So we had pit bulls. It was a pit bull on the east side called Macduff. So dogs had reps. So they had, and then Verta Swan and them, they had this dog. I think his name was Bear. So they would fight the dogs. So I ended up getting like a Kango dog mixed with Kango, one of them dogs from Afghanistan, those shepherd dogs, and he could whip everything. He whipped Stanley's pit bull. He whipped it Carlos's boxer. I always wanted him to fight Macduff, but we could never get Macduff on the west side. They wouldn't bring him over. So and I wanted him to fight Vertus Swan and them's dog, but Vertus and them walked their dog all the way from Figueroa to Centinela Park. And so by the time they get there, the dog ain't got that much energy to go that far. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that wouldn't have been a good fight. Unfortunately, that's what we did. We fought dogs, which I can look back and that's not right, but that's what we did as kids. And I knew other people who would fight chickens, you know.
You know, how big was the Kango? Was he big as a Rottweiler?
I'm going to tell you exactly what he looked like. You ever saw that movie, Old Yeller?
Yeah.
He favored that dog. But his tail curled all the way around. And he was longer.
You know, yeah, we used to fight dogs, man. We didn't know nothing was wrong with that back then. Dogs, you put dogs in the backyard, they're going to fight anyway. But we used to want the toughest dogs back then, man. Did you feed your dog gunpowder?
Well, these were all the rumors that was going around when I was a kid. If you give him hot sauce, it's going to make him mean. If you give him gunpowder, it's going to make him mean. I never gave him gunpowder, but I shook a little hot sauce, you know, over to Skippy one time, and he was already mean. So I would say, wow, the hot sauce got him meaner, because I would hear him barking, you know, in the back at the dog in the gate across from ours. And so then my mother said, you better not give him no more hot sauce, it's going to mess him up. And I said, all right, no more hot sauce. So moms, you know, made me quit doing that. You know, so this dude named Mr. Cox, right? I was walking up slow. I just left Farver Park, and I was swimming up there, and Lucius, the brim, he was showing us how to jump out. Well, he was basically showing Rusty because I was scared to do it. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so they was jumping off this diving board, and I didn't like the diving board at this particular time. So I didn't like the fact that my little brother was about to pass me up in something athletic either. So he got on the diving board. Lucius pushed him off, and then Rusty, he got it 9 feet of water. He came back up. Then Rusty went back up the ladder again. And I said, damn, he's going back up there again. Dude's going to push him off again. I said, hey, man, quit pushing my brother off the diving board. He said, you come up here and make me do it. And I'm like, man, I ain't coming up there. You come down here, like that. So that's how that went. So he eventually dived in, and then he was showing Rusty how to dive. So in the summer, you go swimming every day, and ain't but 15 cents. So he eventually showed my brother, how to do that. So one day on the way home from the park, I walked up Slauson instead of walking back down towards 68. I wanted to wander around. So I went to how kids are when you're curious, you want to wonder. So I went up and saw this big old Doberman picture on this building. This dude named Mr. Cox had opened up a dog training place. They had a wolf in there. They had Dobermans in there. To make a long story short, me and little Took got a job in there, and we ended up breaking in there through the roof. I went to jail for the burglary days later, and we took all these dogs over my house and over his house, and we were selling these Dobermans. So they had this dude named Abdullah. He had another dog place, and he snitched on us because when we started bringing him these dogs, he knew where they came from. So he went and told Mr. Cox that these youngsters are selling your dogs. They're the ones who broke into place. So they gaffled up Wayne without me. And then next thing I know, the cops is at my door, and they go in my backyard. They see what dogs are left. They confiscate those, and I end up going to juvenile hall for it and stuff. But we didn't take the wolf because the wolf was real skittish, and it wouldn't have made a good wolf. It was like a skinny timber wolf, and it didn't look like one of those wolves that you would see in a movie. So I don't want to get in.
Who was Wayne? Tookie's brother?
Yeah, little Hollowell. Yeah, little Wayne, good brother, good solid brother.
He didn't go to jail with you?
He went to jail. He went to jail first, and then his mother, Mr. Cox, he was dirty because he would only pay us like $1, and then he would give the rest of the money to our parents. And then I told him, who made that agreement? I said, I didn't make it. Why are you doing this? And then he said, well, I made the agreement with your parents when they said that y'all could work here, and they signed the waiver that if you get bit, I'm not going to get sued. And I said, man, that's bullshit, man. So we work all day, and you're going to give us $1, then you're going to feed us hot dogs. So that's why we broke in there. That's what made us break in there and go hard, steal all the puppies and the big old Dobermans and shit. Because we fed them, so they liked us. Every dog in there liked us. Everything but the wolf, So yeah, I ended up going to East Lake. I did like 90 days, and then they finally let me out, put me on probation. I'm a little kid. It wasn't no big deal,
Cute. Was you sad when old Yeller died?
That was weird, huh? You can look at that to this day and get a little sad.
Man.
If we really check it out, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know who that little boy is in that movie, right?
I don't remember.
Okay, the little boy, just think about it. His acting career started real early. Yeah, that's one of them dogs right there. That looks like the Kango right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it right there. It's I think his name was he's married Goldie Hawn. The guy married Goldie Hawn.
All right.
Yeah. I think it was Russell or something. Yeah, he was a movie star.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, hey, when you was young, was it a lot of stray dogs running around in your area?
Yeah, it was okay. So when I was a kid, you could keep a dog on a chain. It wasn't against the law. They
Right.
figured out that creates viciousness, so
Yeah.
they banned it. There. When I was a kid, you could ride a dog in the back of a truck. You could
Yeah.
also be in the back of the truck with them. Now kids can't be in the back of the truck, nor can dogs. But yeah, there was a lot of dogs. But I'm gonna tell you, what happened though. When I was a kid, bulldogs were bigger and boxers were bigger. So I don't know what happened to them. And German shepherds, they wasn't squatted down in the back. I think the AKC, the
Right.
American Kennel Club, caused faults. They try not to cause faults, but they cause faults because the English bulldog, when I was a kid, our bulldog was way bigger, and he was an English bulldog. And then there was another one. The bulldogs wasn't little like you see these English bulldogs now. And boxers were real big. They wasn't these little bitty boxers that you see now. Yeah, there he is right there. That's the guy who played No Yeller. That
That's
was
Kurt
that's the little
Russell.
kid. Yeah, that's right, and that's Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a daughter, and the daughter used to mess with the baseball player that retired, the good baseball player. I don't think it was Jeter. It was one of them. The daughter used to date him.
Alex Rodriguez.
No, it might have been Jeter. Right. It was the one who later on started taking steroids and messed up his rep. He waited till he got old and he started juicing.
That was Alex Rodriguez.
No, it wasn't Alex Rodriguez. It was the brother, the light skinned brother. He looked like a brother.
Oh, okay.
And he could hit. That dude could hit.
Somebody said
He
Sammy Sosa. Was it Sammy Sosa?
no, it wasn't Sammy Sosa. He was a Yankee. You know his name, but name some of the cool Yankees.
Had to be Alex.
No, it was the one right before Alex. Who was their
Oh,
main hitter
oh, David
before Alex?
Justice. Dave Justice.
That's who it was.
What?
Yeah, Justice knocked her.
Damn.
And look how fine she is.
Yeah.
Get her picture. Her mother used to play in Roll and Martin Laughing, and she would paint on her body. She would have on the bikini, and in the hippie days, she was like number one. But her daughter was like 2 times fine as her, and Goldie Hawn is considered fine to this day, almost like Raquel Welch. She held on to her beauty all the way up until who knows when, you know.
Dave Justice had Halle Berry too.
Yeah, well, what they say, he a good athlete. Everybody want to be with him. Look at Rodman. Rodman had a Madonna and probably more celebrities too. Rodman had a bunch of fine ass girls on his team.
They like Goldie Hawn. They say she was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little kid and I was like admiring her.
Hmm.
I was like, man, she is fine. Dude got her and didn't marry her for a long time, and then he finally, I guess, married her. Or I guess they felt if they would get married, they would get divorced because so many relationships end up in divorce. So maybe what they did was pretty smart, because it's one of the longest Hollywood, coupling than anything you could, think about.
Q's Austin, Texas got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
He said, this is a silly question, but was it any Crips or Blood gangs down with the hippie movement?
No, because they were before us. That was before our time. When the hippie movement came, we were in elementary school. Yeah, we were in elementary school. The
So,
hippie
Q,
movement.
you
Yeah.
you had that one fantail pigeon, man. You didn't have no other pigeons for him?
Oh yeah, no. This is what happened. So in 1970, around 1972, me and Little Took, we start hitting cages. So I built the cage first in my backyard, and I didn't want my dogs to get to my bird, so I put it in back of my garage and I boarded it off. So I built a nice cage, and I made a trap door out of snipped clothes hangers, so they could come in, but they can't go out. And then when I would let them up, I would let them up hungry. But before I would let them up, I would prune their wings, and then I would let them walk around the yard. I would take my dogs and put them in the front yard, and I would let my pigeons. And I had a kiddie pool, and the pigeons like to bathe,
Yeah,
so they would all get in the kiddie pool. So my mother would say, "How come your damn pigeons don't fly nowhere?" And she didn't know that I pruned all their wings. So I ain't telling her everything I'm doing, because she want to know too much. So I got them all walking around. So as their wings start growing back, my buddy said, "You should do it one more time." And I said, "All right." So I pruned them again, so they couldn't go up. Now I had two birds that could go up and they would come back. I already had two, so they were already good. And then my buddy, Wayne, he had a bird that could go knock a bird. And I don't know if you ever had a bird that could do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not lying.
Yeah,
We would take his bird. Yeah, we would go take his bird and let it loose by a cage where these birds would be up on the line, and then he would bring birds back to my buddy's cage. So then finally I got to let up all my birds. I was like 35 deep. You see 35 flipping, all 35 ain't flipping, but about out of the 35, maybe I think maybe 15 is flipping. And then I had a parlor. He didn't go up. He lost his mind. He would just flip in the grass. He would walk a few places, then he would just roll around, and then I would breed to him. I could breed a commie to him, and it's gonna flip. That's how bad his blood was. And everybody wanted him. Everybody, "Hey man, let me buy you a parlor, Q. I give you $30 for him." $30 is a lot of money for a bird. Miss Green would sell them for $5, $15. So yeah, so I sold them. I ended up selling it for $30.
Man.
I got like 30. Then I went and brought a bunch of birds. I went down there. You know how you go get your birds in a grocery bag?
Yeah. Put the little holes in the side.
Yeah, punch your little holes in there. So my mama she said, "How many birds are you gonna get?" I said, "Come on, Mom. They're not bothering nobody. Why are you worried? Why are you tripping? Because she just want to trip." So she quit tripping. But then I got in trouble. So I got busted. So this dude brought his daddy, his mama, his family around to the house, and they in there talking to my mom. I'm not home. And then when I got home, my mother, had said I can't have birds no more. And she took them in the backyard when I wasn't there, and dude got back his birds that I had stole, out of his cage, and then so that was it. My moms wouldn't let me have birds no more. When you have the age where you gotta mind your parents, you kind of young, which is cool. It's good to have some rules and some regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom wasn't no pushover, so she told me I couldn't have them no more. I just said, "All right, it's good." I said, so I got to take my birds, the one that I had to give them away. So I gave them the Little Took.
Mm-hmm.
I did that, At least I could go see them and I could go be with them. And then, but watch what happens. So I get tired of messing with birds. So I want to start building mini bikes. So I started stealing lawnmowers and taking bringing strand motors off of them and going to get these clutches, making these motorbikes, and these mini bikes. And so my mom would be, oh, that's a cage, huh?
That's the first cage I ever built.
Oh, that's pretty professional looking. My cage was tight, but I didn't shellac it like that. That looked like red wood, like mahogany. Let me see some more.
This is you can't really see, these is old pictures, man, but that's the
Yeah,
top. You can see the palm trees in the background.
I can
That's
see it.
Big Rick's sister lived behind me.
Oh yeah, I knew Rick Sisters.
So I always ran through her yard.
Well,
And
when the police would be chasing you.
exactly. Here go my
Exactly.
birds in the air flipping.
Yeah.
They actually they rolling.
That's why I could see Specs. That's why I like Mike Tyson, because he grew up like us.
Yeah, right.
That's why I like him. He grew up, getting in trouble, just like most kids grow up.
Mm-hmm.
In an inner city kid. He got direction, so that was good.
So I had a little trap door so they could go in and out whenever they wanted.
Yeah, but did you make your trap door the way I made mine?
Did you have the hangers going
Yeah,
down? Yeah,
yeah. I popped them with the cutter,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I wrapped them. Around a straight piece of wire, a hard wire. That's a trip how the pigeons know how to come back in. And
Yep.
so, okay, this is how I would bring them in. I would let them up hungry. So, and then I put popcorn in this can and I would shake it. But when I had them on the ground, I trained them to that. I would let them out hungry. Then I would shake this can with the popcorn in it, and then I would feed them.
Right,
And
right,
then I did that every day. I would
right.
let them out hungry, let them out there for an hour or two, watch the cat. Now you got to remember, dog, I got to watch the cats. I got to watch the little hawks, and I got a BB gun.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
popping on stuff because
Yeah.
they trying to eat my birds right in front of me. They bold. They're not waiting to eat them when I ain't there. They want to eat them right now. They hungry.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, that hawk ain't hanging out right there. Pop, pop. Cat ain't coming right here. Get out of here. Like that. So here it is, man. I got my birds over here. I got the dogs over here, and something's trying to eat my birds, trying to take my things out that I work for. So how did I get money to buy them? I cut grass, I would throw papers, I would go to work, with people, that had, different things they were doing. I would work with them, and then I would like save my money, and then I would go buy something. I would buy like 2 and 3 at a time.
Right.
You
Here go
know,
my first car, Cutes.
okay, that's a Datsun. I want to say a 280Z, but that's the smaller one. That's
No,
a
you right.
Datsun.
No,
Oh,
you right.
okay, Datsun. Oh, well, those cars were. Is that like a 79?
This one was a 76.
Yeah, those were cool.
Hey, no, it was a 280. It was the first year of the 280. To the comment section. So they getting tired of talking about pets, so they want to know, were you around when the Hoover connection started, and they want to know about why do you think people don't buff like they used to?
I was around. When Hoover started. The first gang I joined up with, my gang, was the 7-4 Hoovers.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my gang out. We were on 70, where were we at? 74, 78. We were at a party off of St. Andrews in the 7-8 Hustler hood, and young Kev Mac on the yard. And Hoover Joe and Tony Stacy, had marched their gang across Western to the back streets, and then me and Chucky Madison, we had our gang already over there. We were planning to go up to Crenshaw and fight some Van Ness boys because it was going to be a dance that night. But we all end up, as we join our gangs up, we end up going to Pepperdine to fight another gang up there. And so Joe told me, and he told all of us, he said, "Hey man, I'll be right back. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna bring something. Let me go get it." So Joe left to go get it, but Joe never made it back. And then a couple months later, I end up in Camp Gonzales, and Joe was there, and he told me, the case that he had caught that night wound him up there. So, and then I explained to him everything that we had did that night. And we kind of like waited for you for a little while, and then we felt we needed to go and handle our business up in Pepperdine, because the other gang, the rival gang, they were going to be there, and they would have been disappointed if we didn't show up.
Hmm.
And the other part of the question is why youngsters don't exercise the way we did.
Yeah.
Because we went to jail, and when we went to jail, there was this big old gap. And you got to remember, when we went to jail, that's when crack came on the set. And these kind of drugs suck you up, and so now the kids that came after crack, they didn't see nothing but skinny people. The crack, those guys wasn't in good shape. The biggest dude could fall off if he's smoking crack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So.
Did you see, sorry to cut you off, did you see a lot of dudes coming there skinny from smoking and then just blow up?
Well, we saw guys coming in there, strung out from the crack, and they were real scary because I guess the drug made you super paranoid.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to get up under no weight, unless they were a G or something, and then it was different. But new guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They didn't want to lift no weights.
And I'm gonna tell a story real quick. I don't know if I should mention the guy's name or where he's from. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't want to make nobody look bad. But when I ran across Mumpy said, "Kev Mac, man," he said, "what a crackhead look like?" And Mump had this partner that he knew from the street that had just hit the yard. He was fresh on the yard. He wasn't from 60s, though. He was from a different hood.
Yeah.
So as Mump is saying it, I see dude walking up. But I'm not cool with the dude. That's Mumpy's folks. You know what I'm saying? I still got a young man's mentality at the time, young gang member mentality at the time.
Yeah.
So as Mump is saying that, and I see dude in my peripheral vision walking up, I point at him. I said, "That's what a crackhead looked like, man." Everybody in the yard fell out laughing.
You humiliated.
I did. And,
but sometimes that's what it takes for a person to stop, doing something. I remember in the joint, the brother, he said that the last time that I got high, I remember the brother told me, that week, he said, "Hey, Q," he said, "Hey, man, you should quit getting high." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're gonna be like that dude." That's an old wino, And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are, Q. You ought to quit getting high, man. You don't need to get high. You ought to quit like that." And then sometimes somebody can say something to you and it can resonate. It might not resonate that particular moment, but a week or two later, what he said affected me. Somebody might see you like a little kid and say, Look at that wino. And that could hurt your feelings. Usually something that hurts your feelings could, that means you got feelings. It could kind of like shape and change you. And it don't gotta be bad. It could be a girl. She could say, I don't know why you coming to my party in those dirty looking clothes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you was out stealing batteries all night and the battery acid ate holes in your shirt. But it's Friday night and you want to go to a party, but you ain't tripping, but you smell like gasoline and you got battery acid holes in your shirt and you done showed up at a party, you know, and it takes somebody to humiliate you to let you look and see yourself. Sometimes you can't see yourself because you're always looking outside of yourself.
Right.
You know, so there was a lot of humiliation that caused me to step up my my character and my demeanor, you know, to make positive changes about myself and about the way I treat other people. You know, and I guess you could call it conflict. Conflict don't always got to be a fight. Conflict is everything.
Right.
So hitting a butterfly or fly away from you, that's conflict.
Hughes, did y'all catch butterflies when you was a kid?
Yeah, we used to catch them and pull their wings off. So probably we were headed to be psychopaths. We would put them in jars and shake them, and then we had a buddy. He got all this powder, and I said, "What the hell is that powder?" He said, "It's pixie dust. If you put it on, it'll make you fly." And I said, "Now he's crazy." I said, he didn't get all the butterflies powder off their wings, and he's thinking he's gonna get enough to make somebody fly.
Man,
Yeah.
he must have already been getting high.
Well, he wasn't getting high. And now, okay, so a lot of guys in my neighborhood ended up on death row, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's unusual. You know, I'm looking back on it, and then a lot of guys in my neighborhood committed suicide. That's unusual. A lot of guys in my neighborhood went to Vietnam, and the majority of them didn't come back. And the ones that did come back, you know, were suffering from something that wasn't even diagnosed yet as an illness. It wasn't even in the DMS. You know, I guess then they had the DMS-3. Maybe it was a DMS-2. Right now they got the DMS-4. So they got all the new, you know, diagnoses in that one. You know, the psychology book for, you know, marking an ailment, you know, a mental illness. So you got all of these people who grew up in this environment, our environment where we grew up at. And so I look at the violence that's still, you know, going on to this day. So I'm thinking that when you paint over something, what's at the bottom there is still there, and sometimes it surfaces back up to the top. So I'm thinking that over the years, those old houses that people are living in, they still contaminated. They still got high levels of lead in them.
Right.
And I think that affects the fetus. And I think it not only affects the baby that's about to be the newborn, it's affecting the babies that were already, you know, born when they moved into the contamination. And then Stan Tookie said that before we moved over there, he said everything was flat. So they used to have berries there, and all of the ground is contaminated, you know, with all of the sprays that they use to kill, you know, the bugs that would eat the berries and the lettuce, whatever they would grow, you know, down there. You know, then they made those homes, like tract homes. Those are the homes we live in, you know. And so we were the kids that played in the dirt. You know, the girls made mud pies. The boys played with snails. You know, we put sticks up, let the snails crawl up the stick, and you know, we would just have fun in the backyard. You know, we would dig for treasure. You know, find skeleton keys and shit. you know, and so we lived in that dirt. We played Army Man in the dirt, you know, we had dirt fights.
That's
So
true.
so we getting contamination from the soil as well as from our homes, and you know it's affecting us. It has affected us. So that's why we're so violent in that little area right there. That's why it was so many suicides. That's why it was so much, you know, using drugs. Our brains were already being wired to want more, you know. And no one wants to take the blame for it because no one wants to pay reparations for it. So they already know that prison is full of kids that came up with high levels of lead. And in East LA, those homes were older than the homes that were on the west side because my uncle stayed off of where the bridge was, you know, over by the LA County Jail, you know, that bridge, and you go down to Boral Heights. He lived in Boral Heights, and they have like those Victorian style homes, and they were painted with lead paint too, you know, so the people over there were violent too.
And that's crazy because we did everything in the dirt back then.
Yeah, that's how we played. We stayed in the dirt. That's why they sold patches, you know, because we're going to have holes in our pants,
Yeah.
you know, from being on our knees all day.
What was them pants called? Wranglers or something?
We had the
Tough skins.
Wranglers,
Tough
and
skins.
yeah. Then they had Buster Brown
Buster
shoes
Browns. Yeah.
and Thousand Eyes, them ugly shoes. You would cry if your mama got you a pair of them. And then some wicked person made up the lifetime warranty. I didn't understand that. Why would you make a lifetime warranty on some ugly shoes like this? So every time the shoes would get ready to wear out, my mother would take them back and get a new pair. I'd be like, what the hell? You know? So that, you know, it was crazy being a kid.
Man.
You know? But I think that the environment played a part in what we became. Now, how do we come out of it? I think after a while, some people's body, you know, could I guess sweat things out, you know, and maybe some of the chromosome damage wasn't as bad as it was on some people or on other people.
Yeah.
You know, some people it hit them harder.
Can you hear
You
me, Ken?
know, yeah, I can hear you good.
Man, I didn't even have my mic on. I don't know how that works, but all
Oh,
right.
I was hearing you. I was hearing you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So before people get to blaming, you know, the victimizers, remember the victimizers been victims too.
Oh, I wonder if my camera mic is on instead of the normal mic. But yeah, man, that's interesting about the paint. And don't forget, we played up under houses a lot too, man. So all that asbestos and all that shit up under the house.
Well, I forgot about asbestos. You're right. Every house over there was full of that,
Yeah,
and all of the breaks were 80 to 90% asbestos. And in our neighborhood, the mechanic shop that fixed brakes were on the back street, and they would blow it in the
yeah,
air. You
yeah.
would see a big cloud of it being blown in the air.
And
You know,
we used to have mechanics that did all the car work in their driveway, man. And when they got older, their skin would just be falling off, man, and changing colors, and they died of cancer.
yeah, and now they try to use only a small amount, if not at all, any asbestos. Oh, watch this! I got a story. So when I got out of the joint, right, I went down to this day labor place, and so the lady said, "I want you to fill the application out and tell me all your marketable skills." So I wrote, "I'm a welder. I know how to lay, you know, bricks." I just was making shit up too. I wanted a job. You know, I could do upholstery. You know, I could paint. You know, I can do drywall. I can lay tile. I'm just filling in everything. Somebody's going to come in and say, okay, you're going out to work tomorrow. So tomorrow came. We got to be there early. So the lady said, I'm sending you out, Gilbert. You go here. So I went. You know what the job was?
What?
To take asbestos out of this old ass looking building. And I said, wait a minute, because they were saying you got to put on this. I said, why do I got to put on all that hot shit? And the lady and the dude said, well, if you don't put it on, then you're gonna be breathing in the asbestos. I said, well then I ain't breathing in nothing because I ain't doing none of that. I said, I'm out of here. I said, I ain't doing none of that. I just survived 30-some years of incarceration. I'm not gonna jump into a cloud of asbestos for what? A minimum wage? I said, no, I'm cool. I'm not doing it. So my parole officer, he gets mad at me about it. And I says, man, I want to work, but there's certain work I'm not going to do. And I said, these are the two things I'm not going to do. And he's looking at me. I said, I'm not going to work around asbestos. I'm not going to pick up dead animals. He said, what? I said, yeah, I'm not going to pick up dead animals and I'm not going to work around asbestos. Those are two things I'm not going to do. And I don't care how much it pays.
Why not dead animals?
Because I don't like it. When I be driving my car, I almost had a wreck one time. I was driving my car and there was something on the freeway and it was dead. And I don't want to look at it either. And I just want to get away from it because I can see it from far up. And okay, down here where I live at, you always see these things: coyotes, skunks, and what other? That's it. And every now and then you see a raccoon. You always see those knocked down on the road because we building in their habitat. You know, the city is moving them out. So they ain't got no place to go.
Right.
So our freeway used to be there, you know, the way to travel. So they hungry. Right. So they cross the road to get something to eat and they get ran over.
Right.
And then when they look at lights, they freeze. You know, something about the lights make them freeze.
Yeah.
But I don't like to hit nothing. If I see a dog in the street, I go slow. I don't care if the people in back of me are blowing. I go real slow and I blow my horn. Get the hell out of the street, man. You tripping. You know, like that. Because I ain't running over nothing. Yeah. I'll slow down to real slow.
What about possums? You see dead possums on the road?
Yeah, you see a lot of those. Yeah, you see it. And then they so big, you know, I don't want to look at them. No. Ever since I was a kid, I don't like looking at it. Right. So I'll count to 10. And then I'll look in front of me. I don't want to wreck either. So I'm like in my peripheral vision driving. I'm like going, man, come on, get past it. Then I won't get past it like that.
You never had a possum get in your pigeon cage?
My sister got possums in her backyard and she don't like them. So she wanted me to get rid of them. And I said, no, we're not going to get rid of the possums because they just bluff it. They're not going to bite you. They make that hissing sound. Right. They just don't want you to mess with them. But they eat rats. My sister lived by the alley. And I says, no, we need them. I says, they're going to eat the snakes, the lizards, everything we don't like, they're going to eat it. And all they're going to do. But my sister said, but they look worse than all of that. They look like a giant rat. I says, no, it ain't no giant rat. It's a possum. They nice. They friendly. I said, if I lived here with you, I can make friends with them.
Shit.
You know, all you do is go back there and feed them.
Man, you crazy, kid.
Man, I like possums.
What's up with Mac?
Not much.
I see it. Got over.
What's up, Goo?
What's up with you, cutes?
Pretty good. How you been doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Taking it easy, taking it slow, my brother.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
What you do with 4th of July?
You know what's crazy, man, is I just found out I had a 31-year-old daughter that came out here from Texas. You
That's
understand?
good.
And me and all my girls, my whole family, did fireworks and did all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, what's up?
And just live life, bruh. After
Yeah.
Oh, you got another daughter, huh?
yeah, man, remember I had told you, man, before I went in that the DNA shit was going through
Yeah.
at that time. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Damn.
right before I went to a hospital, so it was like a,
Well,
up and
at least you back in her life, you know. I mean, not back in her life. At least you're in her life. Now you know.
yeah, most definitely. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying like Herschel Walker, trying to make us all look less than. Then they find out he's a big liar.
Oh yeah, but he's a Trump supporter, so them niggas is known to lie. You know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
said
To
he
get over.
can't. Somebody said he can't even read.
He probably can't. Shit, he got his whole sports career probably, you know, it was because he was good. He was a good ass running back.
They said he paid people to take his tests in college.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, man. Most niggas that have that ability like that, they gonna get an easy way through college. You know what I'm saying?
Without without a doubt.
Yeah.
And he played football soft. He played soft. He didn't play hard. He didn't play like Campbell. He didn't run the ball. He didn't run the ball like Campbell.
Hey,
He didn't run the ball like Jim Brown. He played
no,
soft.
but you know, I ain't gonna put it past. I wouldn't have stood in front of him as a DB.
Yeah, don't put Herschel down like that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna put
Man,
him
he
down like
played
that.
Herschel.
Cause
Herschel
that nigga
played
run
soft.
your he'll
He would
run
run
your ass over.
outside. No, he would run
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, he did. He
He
did.
Yeah.
run out. He played soft. I don't care what y'all saying. He
Hey,
played soft. I
No,
okay,
what
saw
I'm
look,
I
saying,
saw some backs that
let
didn't
me
no,
play
ask you
soft.
something.
no, he
Did
was
Bo
kind of soft, but he was still one of the greats, man.
did Bo Jackson
Yeah.
play soft? Did
No,
Bo
Man,
Jackson
you
play
can't
soft?
even you can't even put him in Bo Jackson's category. Bo Jackson busted his hip because he didn't want to go down. He wanted to drag a dude that weighed 200 and some pounds. And that's how his hip got knocked out of socket. That's how Herschel Walker played.
But see, once his socket, once he did it in baseball or football. Well, he did it in football. He couldn't play
Yeah.
baseball no more.
It
He
messed
was
him up
more
for
like,
everything.
that's the same thing as trying to say uh um what's his name that played for the Raiders. Because all
Who?
he did was run out of bounds. However,
Who?
uh, um damn. He played
Jim
for
Brown told me,
no
he
for
said, Jim Brown
USC.
said, if
He
you run
played for
out of
USC and
bounds,
then he played for the Raiders. You know what
Jim
I'm
Brown
talking
said, if you're running out of bounds and you only need a few yards to get a first down, what are you doing running out of bounds?
Yeah.
Jim Brown was hard.
Everybody's trying to play too pretty.
Cuse, what about Gail Sayers?
Gil Sears, that was way back in the day. Man, that's like back when Don Drysdale was the pitcher of the Dodgers or something.
Oh, who I was
Hughes try,
saying
Hughes
was
try to
Bo
act like he
Scott.
don't know sports. He knows sports way back to the 50s and 60s.
I told you it was interesting back then. I liked it when football had a helmet and a little bar that came across. That's what I like. I didn't like all these pads and all this extra stuff on
You like that leather helmet, huh?
you.
Mm-hmm.
You just had some knee pads a little bit, you had on your outfit, and the rest of it was you.
Who?
And,
Hey,
and
who
you
was the
got to
last
play
person
some
that had that
ball.
one bar? Who was the last person that had that one
Was
bar?
it
Dude from
Roger
Kansas
Staubach?
City?
Shit, probably shit, Kansas City, I guess.
Yeah, dude from Kansas City had the
Some of
one
them didn't
bar.
want to. Some of them didn't want to give it up. Them
Or what?
OGs.
Or was it that Raider kicker? He
Ray,
had just one
Well,
bar.
the kickers can have it because they really ain't going to get much contact unless someone just busts through there and get them. but you're really going for the ball. So
Hey,
you're going for the leg.
hey, Keith, did you like to watch Fran Tarkenton and Joe Namath?
Yeah, I like the Joe Namath. But let me tell you about Joe, Broadway. Okay, Joe would always get his nose broke. And the reason why is because he would stay in the pocket. He wasn't a scrambler. Joe would see him coming at him and he would just accept it. So Joe was hard. The last pro football game I saw, Joe Namath was the quarterback. The last game I saw at the Memorial Coliseum, Joe Namath was the quarterback.
Man, Fran Tarkenton used to spit teeth out and still play.
Yeah, man. Football was a rough sport. Dinkin Jones, I saw Dinkin Jones in person.
Oh yeah.
He was cool too, man. That was a cool brother, man. He would wrap his forearms all up. He would beat you with his forearms. He would go in and try to clobber the quarterback. But yeah, you had remember the Cowboys, they had the Lipton T-Man for their quarterback.
Hey, so cute. So let me ask you a question then. Because we going back to the years when football was different, right? When you could beat them up, you could beat somebody up in football, right?
You could cream them. I could grab you and I could hold you in the air and I'd let you go down, and then the top guy would just come with the cream.
Right.
That was real football.
Let me ask you a question though. Cause see, right now, what I'm starting to see on social media, is that these old niggas is trying to get they glory back. Everybody want to be on here and want to fight and do all that, right? Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me just ask you a question, Cutes. When you start getting to 50 and 60 years old, people don't understand that your body is not treated the same way as when you was 20 and 30.
No.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
these people that want to sit up and they want to box when they 50 and 60, they don't understand that it's going to take them 2 or 3 months to heal off whatever you done did to gain that little paper to fight over something over what? Which don't make any sense. That the older niggas is fighting. Why is it not the younger people that got all the guns and all that? Why they ain't stopping and putting their shit down to fight?
I don't know. Maybe the older guys is trying to lead by example. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work itself out. If it worked itself out for the good, like some people say, hey, cute, how come, back in the day, people ain't lifting weights, like they used to when you were a kid, and they asked me that, people were fighting a lot too. So maybe, and it was because the older guys went away, went away to the joint. So I don't know, man. I don't know. People get angry at each other.
Yeah,
And they want to fight each other. If they want to fight each other and I don't get mad at them because these are guys that probably shot guns too. So I'm like, okay, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old you are. If you want to fight somebody, and they want to fight you and you agree, then it's all good. It might not look pretty. It might not look like, two youngsters going in there at it.
If we try to get, listen here, if we try to get Tyson and Mayweather or something, Mayweather ain't doing nothing but as far as scary. Because each one of them know at 50 or 60 years old, it's going to take you 3-4 months to heal off one bruise.
Yeah, but you're looking at skill. All of those guys got skill. So even though they old, it's like being a master. It's like being a master in karate. If you're a master, you're a master. You're an old master. Those dudes are masters. They can still fight even though they're old. They'll never lose their skill. Now what they done lost is some of their endurance, some of their muscle mass. They lost some of their timing, but they still know how to defend themselves. And if they fighting someone close to their own age, I don't see anything wrong with it. Fact is, I think it's a good thing, but I don't know
Okay.
why they're doing it, because maybe they didn't manage their money good,
Right.
or whatnot. But there's still people who want to see it. There's going to always be someone who, now if they say it's an exhibition, then now you know what you're going to look at. They're going to just go out there, show us their moves. You could appreciate it. You walk away with some entertainment. But if they're going out there to dismantle each other, then I don't understand that.
So be it. The violence is good enough. Like you said, people want to see it, so we're going to watch it. It's just like conversation on YouTube. If you got conversation, people going to tune in and listen to it. So if you got a boxing fight, people want to see that, especially if it's two people that's serious about talking head to each other.
Yeah. I always wanted to see. Okay, I'm gonna tell you an old fight I wanted to see, and it finally happened. And it's when the Macho Man and Sugar Ray Leonard fought.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that fight. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be a cool fight. And then the Macho Hector Camacho put it on him.
Man, I was watching an old Sugar Ray highlight fight. Sugar Ray was so fast and he was hitting so many times, but I'm like, he's not even punching the dude though. There was no power behind them punches.
Oh, was it Sugar Ray Robinson or Sugar Ray Leonard?
Leonard.
Oh, okay.
Sugar Ray Leonard was whooping. Tommy Hearns was whooping Sugar Ray Leonard ass the whole fight. It was 80. I want to say 81, 82 when Hearns and Leonard fought. Hearns was whooping Leonard the whole fight. Leonard caught a lucky one, I think, in the last round or round before the last, and that's when he knocked Hearns out the ring.
Hey, man, Leonard was better than people.
He was cold, yeah.
Man, Leonard, you got to give Leonard his props.
Oh, yeah, you got to give him his props, man.
Yeah, you got to give Leonard his props, man. Yeah. He was the best at his time. Just like Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was good too.
Oh yeah, I love Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, he R.I.P. Pernell R.I.P. But he was cool, man. I used to like him. I like that Benitez. Yeah. I like Benitez. I like Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor, he was on another level completely.
Really? I met Aaron Pryor in Cincinnati when he was smoked out.
Wow. Yeah. It's a shame how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to school with Sugar Shane's sister. Sugar Shane used to box right down the street from us.
Yeah, Sugar Shane Mosley. You know what I'm saying? If there were people who should have got out of the game, but they didn't manage their money right, or maybe they never really made a lot of money. Sugar Shane Mosley's career. I don't know why he didn't make the big buck. I just think it was his management.
Yeah, but he fought some good fights. Gave him that little money. When he fought him was what's the De La Hoya. When he gave him the De La Hoya fight.
Yeah, De La Hoya. I'm gonna tell you something, man. When De La Hoya, he had some good fights and he lasted a pretty long time. He fought Pernell Whitaker too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, some of the fights could have went either way. Some of his fights could have, and then
Pernell won that fight, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, And so here I am looking at these fights, and I'm like, okay, man, I could be objective. I can look at a fight and I could, even though I got a favorite, if my favorite loses, I could say the other guy won. Just like when Kid Norton whooped Muhammad Ali, I could honestly say Kid Norton won. I could say, man, I really love Ali, but Kid Norton had his number. I would say, damn, wonder how Kid Norton could whoop Ali, but he couldn't stand in the ring with Foreman. He
Kid
couldn't.
Norton was underrated, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ken Norton had a weird way of fighting.
Man, Ken Norton fought like a crab in a bucket.
Yeah.
Hey, quit this. Hey, look, let me answer this question. You
Yeah.
guys think stats or analytics are more important in sports? And JC says stats drive analytics, so I say stats, and I agree with that. And here's why. Of course, when you're talking sports and analytics, you're talking different categories and different situations. But for me in baseball, being a Dodger fan, right? See, I support the LA Dodger cap.
Okay. I forgot that was
Analytics,
LA Dodger cat.
analytics are horrible, man. The Dodgers have the worst. They have the worst defensive shift using analytics than any team in the league. It's pathetic. Um, Bringing in different relievers to face different batters is pathetic. It just takes away the thinking of the game. Baseball should be a thinking man's game. It's like a chess game on the chessboard. And analytics has taken that away from us. So the human being has no ability to think anymore. And it's not really personal no more because now you just bringing a left-hander in because he's left-handed. You're not bringing him in because he owns this guy or he has the pitch that this guy can't hit. It's retarded to me, man. Analytics has really messed up professional sports.
I'm gonna tell you, okay, in my opinion, this is what messed up profession. This is my opinion. This is what messed up professional sports to me. And I'm gonna use two examples. Hack a Shack. When they was doing Hack a Shack, fouling Shaq because they knew he couldn't shoot free throws that good. And they lost the game because of it. There should have been a rule that when you get down to this point of the game, someone's intentionally fouling someone, they don't go through the free throw. They don't go through the free throw. If they hack at someone just to get them on the free throw line, now the best free throw shooter on that team goes up to the line and shoots the ball. That eliminates that. That makes it fair. Okay,
I don't disagree with that. I think
okay, so that does away with hack a Shaq. They'll never do that again in life if that rule was implemented. This is why I don't like baseball. If I'm a baseball player and I got a hot bat and I come up to the plate and you a pitcher, you talk all that shit. You got the Cyan Award, you all of this, you all that. You pitchers, you could call in this pitcher, another pitcher, fresh heat on me. I got the bat. Pitch me the ball. All of that, throwing the ball outside, walking the dude, that should be done away with. I don't know how that ever got in baseball. If you don't pitch the guy the ball, he automatically scores a run. If you don't strike him out and you do that, he gets a point. That eliminate that.
Okay, look.
That's what mess up sports to me.
I would say that's strategic and for a number of reasons. Like if you have a fast guy on first base, let's say Maury Wills or somebody, Ricky Henderson, and you have a big bat up to the plate, like you said, one of the marquee batters, and the fast guy steals second base, then I should be given the option to walk that guy now because
because the guy that stole that base, he stole that base because the pitcher was sleeping. See, no guy can outrun the ball. No guy can outrun the ball. So if I'm right here and I got my peripheral vision and I'm thinking baseball and I know this guy's a stealer, I'm going to make it look like I'm about to throw it, but I got to move. As soon as I do my move, he's out.
Well, see, here go the thing, Cutes. A good pitcher has to throw a fastball in order to keep that guy from stealing the base. And when you throw a fastball, that's the easiest ball for a good hitter to hit. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's baseball. How come you're gonna walk me? Where's the
because
sport
I
in
want to
that?
win the game.
Yeah,
But you're gonna mess up my statistics. You're gonna
No,
mess up my home
no,
run. I can't break no records. How you gonna
no.
keep me from breaking a record?
Well, you're not gonna get walked all the time. But let me
Yeah,
say this. But let me say this,
certain
Q.
situations.
Let me say this. In your defense, nowadays they don't do that. They pitching to the guys now, and that's why they keep getting beat. They're getting beat
yeah, but
daily.
is there a concrete rule that says
No,
they gotta pitch to the guys?
no. Mm-mm.
Then
But
it should be. It should. I'm just saying, it's my opinion. There should be a concrete rule that there's no more walking in baseball. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't,
then that's what it could be. But right now, what I don't like about baseball is they don't even have to intentionally walk a guy no more. Now they could just say put him on first base.
hey,
Yeah, I don't like that either.
you know what, Kev? What tripped me out is that when it gets to the 10th inning, they put a person on second base.
Yeah, that's done to shorten the length of these games because you got baseball games going 5 and 6 hours.
Oh, okay. Because that tripped me out when I first seen that.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
some new
realize that
stuff.
was
They've been doing that for 2 years.
I don't like that either.
Yeah,
I have not. That was this year's the first time I seen it. That's how much baseball I look at.
yeah.
Yeah, you got these people, they think they smart and they try to recreate the game. But if you keep the game fair and you take away intentionally walking guys, putting guys on bases, you take all that away, let a guy's athleticism put them on base, let a guy's athleticism give him a home run, and then that's real baseball.
But see,
Anything else is
Okay,
manipulating the game.
I
okay,
think
Q.
all things change though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
all
but
things
but
change, but is it changing for the better?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think most sports and most rules should stay original,
right.
as
Yeah.
original as possible, because that's what the game was built on. But look,
Okay, then
Q.
what about football? Back in the day, if the ball went outside, then when they bring the ball back in, they didn't take it to the middle of the field.
No,
They
no,
played it
they
right
played on the
there
side, right,
on the side.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, Q, so I got a good one for you
Okay.
because of the position that you're in. Um, how you feel about baseball. So check this out, Q.
Yeah.
How about this? Now, the good batter comes up to bat, right? Ken Griffey
Yeah.
Jr., Barry Bonds, or whoever. Now, how do you feel about the pitcher saying, okay, well, I'm going to hit this MF then. I'm going to throw a fastball and hit him right upside his head.
You could kill somebody with a ball,
Yeah,
somebody that could throw at that velocity.
yeah.
If a pitcher intentionally hits someone with that hard ass ball, he should be suspended and fined for the whole season. It should be that it should be that critical because you could break bones in people's face, you could break their wrist, you could end their career. You could mess and you can make someone gun shy after getting hit so hard with a ball. I think and pitchers are so precise, they know where to put that ball. And if they do that, then they should be suspended for the rest of the season and they should pay a hefty fine. And that'll be done away with.
Okay, how about hockey? Fighting in hockey.
Fighting in hockey is
Right.
why we go. We want to see the fight. We want to see a guy eat the stick, the putt. We love that. Hockey was made for that. Those aren't no pretty boys out there.
Hey,
They out there on the ice. They
but if you
ready to
hit me in
fight. They
baseball,
don't
they'll
got
made for
no
that
teeth.
too.
They don't
If you
got no teeth. They're
look, but
ready
if
to
you
go.
look, if a pitcher gets a hit, a batter hits a home run off a pitcher, and he look at it like, nigga, I got you. That pitcher gonna be hot. The next time that batter comes up, that pitcher is about to show that batter like what you just did then. Nigga, don't do it no more. So, and he
And
may
then when he
accidentally hit
hits
him.
him, and when he hits him with that ball, he loses his checks
See,
for
no.
6 months.
Hey,
He
you
loses
look.
his
Can
checks,
you say that? Okay,
and he gets a fine. And you
Q.
know who the fine goes to? It goes to the guy that he hit.
So
The
Q.
fine
Can a
don't go
person
to the
say that?
league.
What about football? Can you say that in football too?
Yeah, we want football. If the ball is ran out on the 5 yard line, and they bring the ball back in, you don't take the ball to the middle of the field.
Okay,
You
but
take the ball right there. You don't move. You don't manipulate the chains no more either.
So listen
If
to
the
this.
guy got a first down, he's got a first down. If he didn't get a first down, then he didn't get a first down. Well, I hate when them officials progress the ball just so this popular team could get the first down. I don't like watching that. I don't like that.
Right, cute. So what I was saying though, so you're saying in baseball about the fighting. The fighting is okay in hockey. If a person hits in baseball, they should be kicked out. So in football, if a person is run out of bounds and he decide I'm finna hit this nigga 2 yards out of bounds, I'm still finna hit him for a play that he did before. Should he
That's not
still get the
good.
same thing that's going on now? They get fined and kicked out the game.
Yeah, that's poor sportsmanship. If I'm already outside, I can't progress the ball anymore. You just taking a cheap shot on me. You could end my career. That dude
Okay.
deserves to be punished and kicked out of the game for a few games too. You know how big those dudes are? They can hit you
Right.
so hard you can have a concussion.
Or a whole
Man.
lot more.
Yeah, you can break your shoulder or your clavicle. Or you can man, them dudes are giants, man.
Okay, cute. So I got a question. You pose a question. So let's say the best wide receiver, whoever that may be, runs a route, goes out of bounds, but then comes back inbounds.
He's no more good. Once he goes out of bounds, he's not. He might as well say he done lost that down.
No,
Once he goes out of bounds, he
but
done
I'm
lost
saying,
the down.
but I'm saying,
He.
but I'm saying, now what if the dirty player hits him for coming back in bounds? He's not out of bounds no more. He didn't give up on the play.
Okay, well here it is. If all my players are on the field, if any of my players go out of bounds, not only the wide receiver, if any of them go out of bounds, they got to stay out of bounds. Once you go out of bounds, you don't go back onto the field into the next down. You
But
can't.
if you
You don't go. How you gonna go out of bounds? You out of bounds now. Then you gonna come back in bounds, and you can still catch a touchdown. And you didn't went out of bounds to avoid me hitting you. You didn't went out
no,
of bounds
because
because I'm about to crack you and slow you down.
look,
But you didn't went
cute though.
around me.
Hey, cute. But the receiver may not listen. The receiver may not thought he went all the way out of bounds. Maybe his
Man,
foot just
the
touched
camera,
the
the
line.
camera, the camera's not gonna lie. So
No,
that's when the rules and the technology gotta say, okay, even though he caught the touchdown, it shows right here that he went out of bounds. Now the coach has to challenge it. And if he challenges, say that player went out of bounds, and once he's out of bounds, he can't,
right. But hey,
progress.
look
Nothing.
though. Look though, cute. But the dude already came back inbounds, right? And right now they still putting smelling salt under his nose because he got knocked out. It still
That's
don't matter
good.
because he
That should
came
be
back
the
in.
cost. You know what? I'm glad. That should be the cost right there. They should rule that once you go out of bounds, you can't come back in. Now, next time he will know, no matter what effort I make, if I go back in bounds, I'm still going to be non and a void because I can't catch the ball. And if I do, it doesn't mean anything because I went out of bounds. Everybody can go out of bounds. Okay, imagine I'm running a route. Well, I'm running a route. So here's all these dudes in front of me. I don't want them to hit me. I got this speed. I just run out of bounds and go around them, and now I'm wide open when I come back in because I'm fast. How can? Imagine you had the speed like Bob Hayes. Remember him? He was
Yeah.
the fastest man in the world at that time. Imagine if he could run a route and they say, hey, bro, instead of running into this guy that's going to be on you, just run out of bounds. You're so fast, run around him, and you'll be wide open. You'll never get hit. Oh, no. That's weird.
Yeah, man. Good thing about it is football's on its way back.
I
I
love
can't wait.
football, but I
See,
You
in
want
know
to
what?
LA,
I don't
watch
like
it.
though.
in
They
the
got all these new football leagues. I don't watch that shit for nothing in the
you
world.
have you ain't looked at none of it.
No,
It
I can't
waters,
watch.
it waters football down. I don't look at it.
The
Yeah, I can't watch
USFL or
it.
whatever.
I can't watch it, man.
Hey,
And
you
then
know
they
what?
have the nerve to call it professional football.
I caught it. I caught it one. I caught one game while I was in the hospital, and I was like, "Damn, this professional. They ain't got nobody in the stands. That's got to be family members or something."
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was nobody in the stands. Like
So,
how much?
Bull, what you think about paying women more money like the NBA?
That's cool. I'm
Yeah,
not against
I think
that.
they should have got they. I think they should get their paper, man, because some of their games
Yeah.
is better than some of the pro men
If
games.
you really look at their games, like you said, they stepping it up. They exciting. They popping.
Yeah, they
I
have
think
it.
the women. I think the athletes should get the same. You
Well,
know,
see, I think it broke out because of the girls, the soccer team, the U.S. soccer team is the ones that came out with it, right?
volleyball
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
They're the ones that really was pushing that issue about getting paid because of what the USA men were getting paid compared to the females. And the females was outdoing the men in the soccer in the
Yeah, and they
USA
need to,
soccer.
and they need to get commercials
Yeah,
too,
wasn't getting paid for it.
and get tennis shoes, sports bras, whatever they wear. They need to be able to endorse it, you know, and market it, because their careers really ain't that long, and they need to make all the money they
Well,
can
you know
make
what?
in a little
A
bit
lot
of
of their
time.
careers, a lot of their careers is overseas. That's how old girl got caught up because she was playing in Russia on her off time.
Hey
Um,
man, I'm like this, man.
Griner,
Okay,
what's
if
her
I
name?
like to get high, if I like to get high, and I know that if you go to Singapore, if you go somewhere where they're gonna just kill you because you bring some dope in there, I'm like, man, you must really be a hype to
Yeah.
chance it. You must really be like super, super optimistic. You must think you're gonna get away. Here you are. I mean, they just executed some Americans before over there. You get executed. Now she's in Russia and
But
there's a
look,
war going on. Putin wants some of his spies released. We
but
could
you
get
got to
her out
understand though,
tomorrow.
Q. Hey,
We
Q.
could get her out tomorrow if we
I
go
know.
get one of the spies and do a transfer.
Hey, but think about this, Q. Think about this. She American over in Russia, right? They
What
probably
color
was.
is she? What
They was
color
probably.
is she?
They was probably doing whatever they was doing to get their little smoke on over there. The way
Yeah, but
they
Russia got the rule. So the rule is that if you get caught with this stuff, you could go to jail, hard time. Tell me this: what race is this lady?
black.
Then that's why they ain't traded no spy for
Hey, Cuse. Brian Johnson said, "Can you let Cuse know my dad ran track against Bob Hayes when he was in college, and no, he didn't win."
her. Man, that's cool, man. Because Bob Hayes did like a 9-2 or a 9-1, and
Mm-hmm.
what was that? The quarter mile. So your dad ran against him, and your dad didn't win, but he must have had some speed to run against him to be on the team. So that's cool right there, bro.
Yeah.
Shoot. And we all loved the number 22. That was Bob Hayes' number. Deuce Deuce. We used to write that on our
Oh
bicycles.
shit.
Shoot. And you know who his quarterback was? Merlin Olsen. No, not Merlin Olsen. His quarterback was the dude who would do the lifted tea commercials. He was the quarterback at that time. Well, Merlin Olsen was I believe a
Lineman, wasn't
defensive
he?
player. He
Wasn't
was a
that he a
lineman.
lineman?
Yeah, he was a big, strong lineman. But
Yeah.
the who was the what was the quarterback's name of the Cowboys back in the '60s?
Say that again.
The quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys in
Roger
the night.
Staubach
No, before
before
Staubach.
him.
Who?
I'm trying to think.
It was before Staubach.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also a commentator. He was a commentator for football too. Yeah.
But
And I
down
used to, nah. He was pretty good. He was slow, but he could throw. He could get the ball to Bob Hayes. That's what he could do. And that was the quarterback at the time. He used to do the Lipton tea commercials.
I'm trying to look and see who you're talking about.
Okay, you got to look for the quarterback in the 1960s of the Dallas Cowboys.
Eddie LeBaron?
No.
Don Meredith?
Don Meredith. Don Meredith.
Yeah,
yep.
Don Meredith
That's
did
it.
the commercials.
Yeah, Don Meredith. Yeah, that was and then Bob, he would always get the ball to Bob Hayes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1963 or something like that.
Yeah, that was in the 60s, man. That's when I used to really know all my sports. So I knew all the
you be trying to sleep like you don't know sports, man.
Right. I don't know him like you guys. I would just be around my uncles and my dad, and all them guys would be hollering on the weekend, and I'd be in there laughing, and I'd be remembering what they be saying.
So I got a question. So did you and Took ever go watch football games?
We would go up to the Coliseum, and we would go down on the field, and they would get on the speaker. If you guys don't get off the field, we're gonna let the dogs out. And we would be down there playing, and then we would go over to the museum. You know where the museum was? It was right adjacent. We would go up in there, and we would go look at the conquistadors. You know, they had a museum with the early colonial, the Spaniards, and they would be dressed up, you know, with their silver and I would say, well, look at that dude's suit. And then they had the horses over there, you know, they had the exhibits. Then we would go over there and look at that. And then they had the old car museum. They had the rocket car. They had all of these bad cars. And then they had, if you with your sister in there, then we're going to watch Shirley Temple's Dolls. Then you go down this other hallway, and this one girl, she had so many dolls that she donated them all to the museum, and they all had porcelain faces. And I said, dang, one kid had all those dolls, and it was that little movie star named Shirley Temple.
Charles Brown said football was better in the 90s. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was some fun years, but the 80s, the 70s, man, it was off the hook.
Yeah, I think football was better. I think football was better in the 60s.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Yeah,
mine too. But I'm gonna say the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
just because they was hitting and they wasn't with all these rules now.
Yeah, I think the early 80s and the 70s was real good football years.
Yeah. I think
doing all that, they kind of messed it up.
Yeah. I used to like horse races too.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, you know what's sad? When I was with LA and I came down there to meet Kev Mac down on Century, and then I said, "Oh man, that's Hollywood messed up." They tore down Hollywood Park.
Yeah, I knew what you was finna say.
Man, that was messed up. I used to go up in there. Yeah, I go up in there, dog. I go up there in the luncheon. I'll go up there and eat, man. I go up there and have fun.
Cute. Did the Crips uniform change from the east side to the west side back in the day? What was the difference?
Okay, say that again, my brother.
The difference between the dress style of the east side Crips and the west side Crips back
oh, yeah. Raymond and them liked to wear beanies. They liked to put the beanies on, and they would wear them navy beanies, them real thick ones. So Raymond and them liked to wear Levi's, and they liked to wear the silk T-shirts. And so on the west side, we liked to wear the suspenders. We liked to wear the Ace Deuces. Tookie gave us our style. We liked to crease our Levi's with heavy starch. We liked to wear our Levi's a little flooded. We liked to wear gray biscuits or black biscuits. We like to put little tie clips on and little pins in our deuces or in our stingy brims or our Humberts. You know, we would wear those liquor store, golf caps. So the styles were like that. That's when we were in uniform. The East Side liked to wear khakis, beige. We sometimes liked to wear like the blue khakis. We would wear beige too. We liked to wear Crota sacks. They liked to wear, I think they would wear water bees and Crota sacks too. They would wear biscuits some too. Stacey Adams. Our styles were very similar. You know,
Hey,
we
Q.
like to wear our do rags. Put them in our pocket, and some of us would tie them around our neck, and some would wear Aunt Jemima style. I never seen nobody wear it pirate style.
Hey, you know what, Q? So I just thought about something. I'm gonna talk to you offline.
Okay.
Because you born in '57.
Yeah.
My brother was born in '56, and my sister was born in '58. So they both went to Crenshaw when you was at Crenshaw. So I'm gonna see if you knew them.
Okay.
But look, you know how every generation thinks they invented the wheel, right?
Right.
Did y'all do this before my era did this?
Okay. Tell me what I'm looking at.
A crate made as a basketball rim.
Oh yeah. A milk crate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We did that. We did that. Sometimes the ball would get stuck in the crate. Yeah. Hey, we were poor. Hey, Kevin, we were poor, homie. We did that. Hey, when I lived on the east side, we would get socks and we would pack them, and that would be our baseball. We
Yeah.
would just pack it.
Hey, do either one of y'all trip that not as many black kids like how we grew up play baseball, like how we played baseball back then?
Yeah, they don't get out. They don't get out and play with each other no more. They
Yeah,
don't,
man.
there was always football games in the middle of the street until the street
Always.
lights went out. And then
Always.
Mama say, "Come in the
Always.
house, y'all. Get in here. Take your baths."
Yeah.
Little kids don't play with each other no more. That's
Yeah,
why they don't know each other.
right.
We would play 3 and 4 blocks over. All the kids would gather up to play.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You knew what
Yeah.
block you played that Saturday or whatever.
You could wonder a few blocks to play with some kids you didn't even know.
See, but I think it was different for us because we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have all these games. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have cable. We didn't
Well,
have
I had Tonka trucks, so you had to get out and roll it.
yeah, you
You
had to
didn't.
get out.
You got out and climbed trees and put boards on the roof of a garage
Yeah.
and run up the board, and then have some couches that you got out of somebody's trash, and you make jumpers, and you would just run and fly and jump off the roof onto the cushions and shit. That's how we played.
Mm-hmm.
We would have real fun.
Yeah, it's just crazy that many people that play baseball no more.
Yeah, kids don't get out and play with each other no more.
You know when somebody creative came up with the basketball rim that you just roll around?
Yeah.
Because we back then it was too heavy and too big to get a real backboard and put it in your backyard. You know what I mean?
Well, some neighbors would do it, and then all the kids would end up in that backyard,
Right.
and then the mothers would get sick that there was so many kids in her backyard
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
and making that noise. And so, it was always a house on every block that actually had that righteous setup,
Exactly.
like that.
Right.
And everybody would love to go over there,
Yeah.
play that game against their garage,
Yeah.
So that's how that
There
was.
used to be some good fights at them basketball games too.
Man, some real good fights. Somebody get elbowed. Yeah, you see some good, clean fights.
That was just part of the territory. It went hand in hand.
And hey, it's like a football game in the street. A football
I
game
used to
in the street, it was gonna be a fight sooner or later on that before that game was over.
I used to like when you come up on a fight and one of the kids be crying and he still wants to fight. He's crying, but he's mad and he's
He's so angry.
crying and he's fighting.
Yeah, he's angry, but he's down though.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
here's the difference, Gould. We didn't really fight when we played football because it was a contact sport. So we just gonna knock the hell out of you. We gonna
Yeah.
hit you as hard as we can. We gonna stand you up like you said and cream you. But
yeah,
in basketball, you already in the backyard, so all the neighbors can't really see, and it's not that contact type of sport. So we just gonna get down. Come on, homie. After this game, man, you getting down. Kind of like
yeah.
how now when people want to call you out, when people want to discipline you, that was mandatory back then when we played basketball in the backyards.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. You know,
And tell you, in the summertime, did your neighborhood get together and like 15 or 20 of you would walk up to the park to go swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was young then, not when I got older, but when I was a
No,
lot
no,
younger.
I'm talking about when we were young.
Yeah,
I'm talking about elementary school stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We went to Dorsey, Rancho Park, Van Ness Park, and I don't think I ever went swimming at Centinela Park. I might have, but I don't think I have.
I went swimming in Centinela. I went swimming in Van Ness Park. I went swimming in Harbor Park, Sportsman Park, and I went out to where the Linwood Park. Racist. Boy, was it racist.
Man,
Yeah.
man, do you remember they used to have like some go-kart place out toward
El Segundo on
yeah,
Western.
exactly.
And they had the big slide.
Hey man, we used to go there. I'm talking about from elementary to junior high school, and as adults. We used to go there and we used to fight, man. We used to squabble up.
Yeah, we did too. I loved it, that place.
Man.
Yeah, it was in Gardena.
And it's a trip because as a kid, our mom used to take us there for fun. But then we
Yeah,
inherit that shit and we get older as teenagers, we still want to go. So we going without moms.
yeah. We would go to the skating ring too. The skating ring was over there too.
Man.
Yeah. But look how far we had to go to have some fun. We had to
Yeah.
go way out to Gardena because they didn't want to put nothing in our neighborhood.
Nothing in our hood.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing in our hood. Yeah.
Man, them was the days, man.
Yeah, yeah. It cost a dollar for 2 laps.
Man.
Yeah. Real motors, real gas.
Yeah. We used to go to Alpine Village as well.
Yeah. I would go to the Pomona Fair. You guys ever go to the Pomona Fair?
Yeah.
Man, I would go to the Pomona Fair and I would get inside of this thing, right? And you put your back up against it and the floor would just drop and you would be spinning around stuck to the wall and you'd be trying to pull your head off the wall. It makes all the muscles in your neck feel like they just tightening up. That was my favorite ride. If you went on it 2 times, you're going to have a migraine headache. Yeah. I would get on that ride. That was my favorite one.
Man, them was the days, man.
Hell yeah.
OGQ. I wish I could have known you when you was hanging out on my block, man.
Man, you was just younger, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
I asked my sister, she said she don't remember you, but she remember it used to be activity down there at Quinn's house.
Yeah, we used to always be down there.
So
That's where we go.
she's 3 years younger than you, so that's like a whole generation after you.
Yeah. Todd's the one that hit me to Quinn. My cousin Todd.
She probably knew Todd in there.
I'm telling you, she had to know the Madisons.
Yeah.
Because they went with Chesley and Leslie. Those were Rollo's daughters. The dude that played on Sanford and Son.
She was friends with Rollo's daughter.
Oh, okay, yeah, they like them my cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those daughters.
That was her buddy, but I forgot what she told me happened. Somehow they quit being friends at some point.
Yeah, and Tina Turner's kids liked it me. Tina Turner's kids liked it me. And Red Fox's son, he liked it me too. he used to come over there and mess with us too. Now, I mean, that Red Fox's son, the Raisin Man, Ray Charles' son.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All of them lived right there.
Yeah, my grandmother lived around the corner from Ray Charles.
Yeah, and that was Monster said that was his
His stepdad.
godfather.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Goddaddy.
goddaddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, remember, because when me and you and Monster was talking, and Monster got the naming people up there, I'm like, man, my grandmama knew all them people.
Yeah, because they lived all right there. Because that was probably rich black people probably only felt comfortable living in Baldwin Hills.
You know, Tootie Reese built that house on the corner of my grandmother's block.
Wow, that dude had a big house.
Yeah, he had a big house with a swimming pool right there in the front.
Yeah, that dude had a big house, man.
On Innerdale and Southridge.
Yeah. He stayed free a long time. He was old when he started getting locked up.
Yeah, he was older, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he
he
was
wasn't,
going to jail when he was young, but he wasn't doing no time.
yeah, he wasn't getting washed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you start going when you old, it's like, man, that ain't it. Them beds are hard, man. My body can't take that bed no more. The mattress is 2 inches. It ain't got nothing in but some hard ass cotton. It's made out of plastic. The sheets are so hard, and you're on a steel cookie sheet.
Man,
My body can't take that.
Cuse, I was skinny, right? So
Yeah.
my body, I sleep on my side most of the time. So my hip couldn't take that metal, man.
Imagine sleeping on that shit for 37 years.
I can
It felt
imagine.
like, man, sometime I would be in so much pain, I would just stand up in the corner. I wouldn't
Man,
want to I didn't want to lay in my bed. My body was hurting so bad one time, I just said, I can't lay down on that no more. And
man.
I would meditate like a vampire and just stand up in the corner and try to go to sleep.
Hey, it's crazy because that's how the system wants it, right? So
Yeah,
you're in the county jail, you're sleeping on cold cement, you're sleeping on cold steel, no mattress or the little 1 inch mattress. So then after you go through that for about a year, you ready to take a deal and go to prison.
man, you think that prison's gonna be better.
Yeah, but at least prison, you got a little thicker mattress, you got springs, depending where you
Hey,
at.
hey,
Depending
the
where you at,
cop,
you might have
the,
springs.
hey, the cop opened up the doors right on the tier, and was no one was in the first two cells. No one was in those cells. They had mattresses in there. I ran in there. I grabbed one mattress
Man,
on one unlock. Then I went and got the other mattress on the other unlock. I had three mattresses, and I stacked them up on my bed, and I slept that night, man. I slept so good. And the next day they came and took them again.
yeah, and that goes back to the system. They give you a 3-piece mattress,
Yeah,
and it's not enough for everybody. So they
yeah,
already
no,
know you're gonna fight over pieces of mattress, and when they see you comfortable, they come
yeah.
take the stuff from you.
Yeah, they took it, man. And then my body started hurting again. Just like you said, that pain, man, it feels so good to sleep in a real bed. I be like, man, I can't believe it. I be like, damn, I'm in a real soft ass bed. This is cool. I be
Hey
like,
man,
shit.
and when we used to be in the crib module, they would turn the AC up, so it's freezing cold. Of course,
And,
it helps to keep some germs down, but
yeah, but it's
then
still too cold.
yeah, then you get 2 or 3 blankets and you feeling warm and comfortable, and they come
Yeah,
confiscate all your
yeah.
shit out your
Come
sleep.
and take all your shit. You be down to a sheet. Oh, I used to hate when they would leave that lace blanket. The
Yeah,
thing got holes all
holes
through it,
all in it.
and you ain't gonna get warm with it at all.
No, you gotta stick your head up under there with a sheet so the sheet
Man,
holds in the heat.
man, we busted all the windows out of one building because it's summertime. So we take these hard ass piers and pow, pow. So the dude say, "Cutes, you busting out all the windows, dog. We're gonna freeze this winter." And man, we froze that winter, dog. I was like, man, I wish I didn't bust out all these windows in front of my cell.
Yeah, when I went to Soledad to visit my brother, all the windows was busted out and shit. I'm like,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yeah, we bust out all the windows. The cop told us too. So you busted out all the windows. They ain't gonna come in and fix them, and you guys are gonna freeze. And we froze, man. I
Man,
never forget that.
what about you ever put toilet tissue up over the holes to cover the vents from being so cold?
Yeah, and they would come in and they would say, "You got all
Take
the
that
vents
down.
covered up." I
That's
remember I walked in
cold.
the cell and this dude had all of the vents. He had all the holes in the vents covered and he smoked. And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, bro." I said, "I don't smoke." He said, "You don't smoke?" I said, "No." And you got all of the vents covered. I said, "This ain't going to work out." I said, "So we're going to reach a compromise." He says, "Okay, what's the compromise?" I says, "I'm going to unstuff the vent." So I put in all the toilet paper. And I said, "When you smoke, you got to go up to that vent and you got to blow the smoke in
Right.
there and then suck it away." He
Right.
said, "Man, I'm not going to be comfortable doing that." I said, "And you're going to be comfortable with a broke jaw?" I said, "Is that going to be comfortable?" So I told him. You wanna make my life uncomfortable. I'm trying to compromise.
Yeah,
They moved me in this cell coming from the hole. It only takes anybody. I tell a dude in a minute. I say, "Man, I'm not gonna be in your cell long. I'm gonna buy my own cell. Give me 3 days. I'm gonna have my own cell, but don't give me no static. I'm only gonna be here 3 days. I don't want to hear shit. And then if you give me some shit, I'm gonna go right back to the hole." And then I ain't gonna say nothing cute. It's cool, man. It's cool. Cause I want my own cell. I want to go get my own cell. I want my own bottom bunk, and I'm gonna pay for it. So I'm here, man. Here's the money. Give me my own cell. Boom. I get my own cell, and I got my own cell.
Hmm.
And then,
Did you know a cat named Anthony Gonzalez? They called him Julio. He was black. My coworker says him and Big Took was tight back then.
and that was inside of the prison or on the street.
Shit, oh no, probably the streets.
Probably on the street. A lot of Mexicans live in our neighborhood.
Is there anything that you learned from Big Mouse or Tookie that helped you when you got older?
Yeah. To mind your own business, to work hard, and think before you act. That's what they used to tell me. Don't be in other people's business. Mind your own business. Don't be hot headed. Think before you act. That's what they used to tell me.
Shout out to East LA, man. East Los Angeles, the original East Side.
Oh yeah, for sure. Borrow Heights.
Mm.
Yeah. My grandfather, he helped construct the new county jail. He was the welder.
You
Yep, I
ever
remember when they were building it.
you been to HOJJ?
Yeah, HOJJ, the old county jail, it's right across the street from the criminals court building in the morgue. Oh, I got a story. Okay, so it's early in the morning and I'm in HOJJ. You gotta eat standing up. So we eating standing up. And there's no place to sit. They bring the food in cans. So the tier tenders, you make the tray, you take your tray up there, they give you your tray, piece of chicken, scoop of potatoes, whatever, they give you a little dessert. And so we standing up eating. So the next day I got to go to court. And so they take me down in the elevator. You don't go to court in no bus because you in HOJJ. It's directly across the street from the criminal court building. So I say, oh man, this is all new to me. I never did it before. So I go in, I get in, they put us all in this elevator. We all shackled with our hands behind our back. So I'm in here with all these criminals, right? I don't feel like a criminal. I'm fresh off the street. So we going down. The elevator's going down, down, down. I'm like, where the hell are we going? And then the elevator gets to the bottom. Then it opens up. Hey man, we up under LA. we downtown in the up under the street, so it's cold. And then I see all of these like bunk beds in the hallway, and I see white sheets. And I'm like, the fuck is that? That's the morgue. I said, those are bodies? Yeah, those are bodies. I said, oh man, I don't like being down here. Fuck that shit. That's how it was, man. And then we crossed it, and then we go up in this other elevator. Once they walk us through this kind of dark, they walk with little lighting. Then we walk through there, and then you get in this other elevator, and it takes you up. And when it opens up, you're inside the criminal court building. You ever been through that experience?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you like it?
No, I didn't see. I don't remember no more, but I remember coming up to the criminal court building.
Oh yeah, well I guess we went down right next to the morgue.
Damn.
Yeah, we went down right.
That was a spooky jail, man. That like if you claustrophobic, that was not the place to be, man.
Man, it seemed like it sit right over the freeway or something.
Man, it felt like I was up under downtown, man, all dark and cold and shit.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Yeah, I always thought it was gonna like fall. It felt that old.
Yeah, it did.
You know? I was so happy when they said we're taking you to Wayside Max, and I said,
"See what I'm saying, though? The system is designed for you to take these baby steps and think you're going to a better place."
Yeah, because one seems more better, less miserable than the place where you at, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But actually, it is less miserable. The only thing that's crazy is when you take a deal, when you take a plea bargain and you know you're innocent. I've never been innocent, but I'm just saying, if you know you're innocent and they tell you got to take a plea bargain, I have been in jail with innocent people. And I'll be like, how could you do this time, bro? You're really innocent. Like Pretty Boy was really innocent. And I'm like, man, how's you doing this life sentence, dude? You didn't do it. You're innocent. How does this feel? That's crazy. Man. I think I would have went nuts. Imagine if you're on death row and you know you're innocent. And everybody knows you're innocent. We know guys on death row that are innocent. You and me. Imagine how that guy feels. Imagine how the guy feels that's on death row that's innocent. And he's on there because he wanted to enhance his rep and say things that wasn't true.
I know a guy like that up there.
We know the same guy up there like that.
That's crazy.
That's super crazy. Remember when Monster said something on his video? He said, yeah, man, when I went back to the hood, they were saying, I did this and I did that, and I haven't even been around here. He said, after a while, I started acting like I did this and I did that.
That happens. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, in my days, there was rivals that would put in work. And then every time somebody gets shot at, you just give that person the credit. So this person's reputation is tenfold now.
Yeah.
But he ain't even cut out like that.
No, it's just rumors.
Yeah.
So imagine one of those rumors go to the cops.
Right.
And then you on death row for something you didn't do. Do you start believing you actually did it? Does that make you feel better?
I wonder that all the time, Q. Do these people believe that shit?
And we actually know who done it?
But yeah, everybody's surprised that you said Pretty Boy's innocent. But yeah, Pretty Boy was innocent on that case he did life for.
They didn't know that?
I guess not. They said Pretty Boy never mentioned it.
Because I probably don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he's mentioned it off camera for sure.
He talked to me about it for years. Well, we from the street, so we know he was innocent.
Exactly.
And it ain't got nothing to prove now. He did the time.
Right.
He ain't gonna get nothing for it.
No.
He ain't got no need of saying it anymore.
Which is crazy because the parole board wants you to admit to some shit you didn't even do.
Oh, if you don't admit to some shit you didn't even do, then they're gonna just keep you longer because they're gonna think you in denial.
Right.
And you minimizing your your part in something. Like I said, I ain't never been innocent, but I've been around people who have been innocent, and I just said, how do they do their time? Those men got a stronger mind than me. I would flip out.
Jay Ship said he mentioned it in his interview, but it was very quick.
Okay, so you got to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't like to out nobody. That ain't my style.
Right. I mean,
You
it is what
know,
it is.
I don't need to do that for effect or nothing.
Cuse, did you know Mad Dog? Cuse knew both.
Yeah, Mad Dog was my buddy. Mad Dog's much older than me. But I knew Mad Dog. Been in the house with Mad Dog.
Hmm.
Mad Dog Tookie looked it up to Mad Dog.
Hmm.
But Mad Dog wasn't the founder of the East Side. Raymond Washington was our founder.
Right.
Mad Dog had a car. He had a car.
Man.
He controlled territory. He was a leader. He was a strong dude. Let Ricky Silas tell you, Mad Dog was the shit.
Right. Man, Ricky Silas had a nice rep to die so young, huh?
Yeah, he was a good dude, man. That was my buddy, man. We would argue like cats and dogs, but at the end of the day, we loved each other.
Hmm.
We would just argue about Mad Dog and Took. We had to argue about something. Mac Thomas would laugh at us.
How long did Tookie take for him to get his size back after he got shot?
Well, what happened is Took got shot in his lower extremities. Took got shot in his legs. So he didn't get shot in his stomach. He didn't get shot in his arms or his chest. So what fell off on Took was his legs. He didn't want to push blood through his body until his wounds healed. So when me and Raymond went over there that night, when Raymond got out, Took was still convalescent and he didn't open the door. So Took was probably, taking some pain pills to deal with the pain from being shot. Because we had went over there to look in on him. I was with him earlier that day. Checking him out. I ended up getting locked up shortly after that and going to YA. And when I came back out of YA, Raymond had made it through his parole, which was good, and he had already convalesced from being shot, and he was already back in the game. So I imagine it didn't take him too long because Mouse and them would go over there every day and feed him and make sure he didn't need nothing. Yeah. We wanted to go do some shit, but I don't know. You know how it is.
Right.
We all gang banging. We lived our lives. We lived our lives hard. So that comes with living your life hard. Sometimes the gun's pointed at you.
Right.
The good thing is, Matt?
I said that's the scary part. It's easy to be behind the gun, but to be in front of the gun is different.
Yeah. And those dudes are just as hard as we were, so.
Hey, well, it's getting late, man. I'm going to go.
All right, Kev. I want to thank everybody for the good questions. Sometime we can just come on here, have a good conversation. We see Brother Goob had checked in for a little while. He's well. He's back out there ready to debate. So that felt good to see him, so it's good, man. Everything's all right.
Right. So we'll be coming back on soon. Yeah. But I'm going to holler at you offline, Cutes.
All right, big homie, be cool.
All right, take it easy, bro.
Yeah.
$Cutes777. And that's going to do it for today's live. Thanks for checking in for over 2 hours once again, you guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully I'll continue to do better and see you guys a little more often. Y'all take it easy, man. Peace.